It wasn't seen a single bit in the first round, and now they suddenly decide to show it. Is that to show that Soma is not a guy of teamwork, or is that to give us hope, only to give us the ultimate despair? If it's the ultimate despair, then trust me, I will rage so much that the most maddening of the Shokugeki no fans will, well, they will criticize my whining, not that people don't. Yes, this is the Shokugeki no Soma, chapter 223, and yes, I am the despair reviewer, angry anime fan. It begins with Megashima telling his ramen buddies that he is unfortunately going, but of course they, knowing him, saying, "Go for it, young master." But they also wonder why he would. And he just says, "I don't really know why, but maybe he wants to see the true potential of Yuki Arasoma." As the other chefs begin to cook, and Manny wonders what would happen. We are switched to Kuga's place where he cooks but has yet to not touch his green tea. However, Tsukasa, he is boiling the tea and many different kinds of tea. He, well, it's basically many different instructions, but uh, he's using sencha rice fragments. So yeah, well, I'm sorry, I cannot say it. He's saying something like, to begin with, the green tea is defined as a non-fermented tea treated with heat immediately after being picked to prevent oxide catalysis, and refers to Japanese teas in general. So what I meant to say is that one can transfer the rich fragrance to the dish, or using the bitter astringent taste as an accent. The possibilities are endless. Suzuka is Tsukasa doing that. As he pours in some, he says, "Come to me." And then we see some more introduction saying, "Drench the sencha in boiling water for 30 seconds to moderately draw out the astringent component catechin." For Gyuro, it's in the 60 waters. Yeah, that's what I meant. He is boiling them in many different teas in different ways. The Grenchmai, the green tea mixed, is stepped at 95 degrees for 30 seconds. And to make the compounds of Fukamushi sencha, sipping more easily, to boil it for short at 60. So he's definitely doing perfection and doing all that. As one of the judges realizes that his performance shows elegance, but it's not manipulating the ingredients. As Asami with his arrogant smirk says, it's actually the reverse, a loyal sword. After all, he is called the White Knight of the Table. So he's saying, as Tsukasa Eishi cooks, he waits upon his monarch the ingredients with utmost regard. It pisses me off that someone actually that powerful exists, especially as the rebels panic. Come on, he must be defeated. If not by Kuga, at least by someone else. I am seriously getting tired of that arrogant smirk. And it only gets worse when he begins to taunt Kuga. Well, taunt is maybe a high word, but the words he says there are extremely condescending. He begins to say that you are being cooped up too much with your own bad habits. He actually says, you thought that green tea is a sort of extra, sometimes utilizing the things misread yourself too. He says he does recognize Kuga's passion, which is the high food. But the way you are right now, you won't win against me. So he's basically saying you don't know how to bring it all out. So suddenly a word is telling, you sure about that? As someone sent another part, it's dark liquid, which is actually Mimisaka. For the first time we see him in the mask. Turns out that his perfect trace did not only trace some of the Elite 10. No, he decided to trace his allies too. And we all cannot forget that technically one of the biggest advantage the rebels are supposed to have in this Regiment de Cuisine is teamwork, which by the way was not seen a single bit in the first round. Granted, the first round was maybe the weak half, so the second half is a lot more stronger. Therefore, teamwork is a lot more important. But that's one of the reasons why I say that. Are you trying to give us hope now? Are you trying to say that the Rebels actually will win this round. Don't get me wrong. If they win, I will say yippee without any sarcasm. But I still would have preferred that someone like Megumi defeated Tsukasa or something. But given how badly Megumi is being treated, it seems very unlikely that will happen. So I think this is just giving us hope, only to throw us great despair. Or maybe Tsukasa will be defeated, but Rindo won't. After all, we still have that theory that Rindo is really too powerful, even for this one. Which, by the way, would make sense, but I still won't like it. Mostly because I don't want that kind of despair, because then that will only make her defeat all the more unacceptable in some people's eyes. Because as I said before, you are never supposed to make a villain too powerful. And yes, she is a villain. Right now in this match, she is a villain, okay? But now that I've complained about that, the Rebels celebrate as we see Mimisaka, playing as Kuga. I'm gonna defeat that pompous ass Sukasan. Of course, Kuga don't really like that. But the Rebels, feeling stronger than ever, now uh, teams up with each other. Of course, they have yet to team up with the third seed, but I have a feeling that Megishima is not a guy who would work together with anyone. But Irina declares that we will now show them the solidarity of the rebels. But as I said before, is this teamwork really enough to defeat the Elite 10 of the Elite? Granted, it is. Even I feel like they cannot win one-on-one. They need each other to defeat. But again, would have preferred that Kuga did not win until I saw this chapter, because now we are balancing between hope or despair. But yeah, Tsukasa was extremely arrogant and obnoxious this chapter. Oh, but Kuga seems to have been the one to mature. While he's still very determined to cook the way he cook, he still seems to be very acceptable to help, even if that guy is a junior. Maybe because he himself knows that even he is not enough to defeat Tsukasa. That's basically this chapter. I know it was a confusing and pretty bad review, but when words are too big, I cannot memorize them. And then I cannot even read them. That's how Shokugeki no Soma works sometimes for me. All in all, I like the teamwork, but again, is this is this hope before despair, or despair that will turn to hope? Give me your thoughts if you have any.